Okay, ladies and gentlemen, you are now being live streamed on YouTube and the meeting is being recorded. Whoever normally chairs this meeting, I'm not even sure who that is. The floor is yours.
That's Prentice. Is he with us?
He is. He's on mute.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, finally. Have we got a quorum?
Yes.
Okay. Y'all ready to start?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, that bring the meeting to order. Do we have approval of the minutes for June the 4th?
So moved.
Second.
Annette, you want to call the roll? Is that the way you want to do it?
We can do that, sure.
Okay.
So just say here or present when I call your name.
Okay.
Prentice,
Here.
Brad, Mary Jane,
Here.
Charles,
Here.
Rick.
Here.
Jennifer,
Here.
Turner,
Here.
Russ.
Here.
And Pat, I know you're here, and Nick Webb. Is there anyone else that is joining us as a visitor?
No, there will not be. I will be solo.
Okay. Then we have a quorum and ready to proceed.
Okay. So we unanimous on the approval of the minutes, right? First on the agenda is the racetrack. Anyone have any questions?
How do you guys check for underage purchases? What's your system?
Great question. And I'll kind of go through a couple things. So first, we have a training program that we put every team member through every 90 days. So that's once a quarter. We also have essential documentation and accountability. And we also have a third party known as the BARS program that we have hired that actually goes into our locations to ensure that our team members are IDing. As you all know, 21 and older. And we have extensive practices, obviously making sure that we ID before, we ever touch the product, ensuring that the birth date is over the legal age, and also scanning the ID before we ever put our hands on the product. So to ensure that we're protecting ourselves, but also protecting the community to ensure that everyone that comes in is of age that's purchasing alcohol.
Your third party group, are they like a secret shopper type of thing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How have you been doing on those reports?
Great. We're actually 100% in Tennessee at the time with the BARS program.
Great.
And we've been open since October 8th in the Nashville market of last year.
Anyone have any more questions?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. Just Mr. Webb is one who drives Rockland Road at least a couple times a day. I'd just like you to know what an attractive location and building you built there and how much better that corner looks. And I can only hope it stays that way because it sure looks nice now.
You're exactly right. We're excited to be there. I know we want to make sure that everybody, it complements the community and the environment. And we're just pleased and couldn't appreciate it more of, you guys allowed us to build there. And we look to make y'all proud and stay clean for you guys for a long time to come. So thank y'all.
Is there any way for a clerk to override the system at checkout?
So when you obviously hit the product, scan the product, you have the ability to hit the over 30 button or type in a false ID. However, it will flag, and all purchases are accessible by myself or the office immediately to see if indeed that over 30 button is being hit instead of, inaccurately entering a button. So yes, you know, as long as they're doing that, but however, our MODs, with any alcohol purchase, are expected to oversee to ensure that our, so we call them guest service associates, are accurately, entering those birth dates.
And you're carding everyone under 40, under 30? Is it
So
everyone?
the great thing at Racetrack is alcohol. We tell our team members to ID everybody. Unfortunately, that's even people that may visibly have been, you know, old enough to purchase beer for a long, long time. We want to make sure that we're protecting our own and the community at the same time. So with alcohol purchases, we suggest that we ID everyone, no matter their age.
Okay, thank you.
Now, you just said you suggest. Do you suggest you ID everyone, or you do require to ID everyone?
I appreciate you making sure I clarify that. We require everyone to be ID'd.
Okay, thank you.
Does anyone have any more questions?
I move we grant the permit.
Motion been made and second. All in favor? You want to call the roll, Annette?
Aye.
Okay.
Point of order, on Zoom meetings, all votes have to be vocal roll call votes. I'm
Okay,
guessing you'll be handling that, Annette?
yes. Okay, so before I do that, could I get who made the second?
Charles.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so on the motion to approve the racetrack permit, please answer when I call your name by saying aye if you approve. Princess Oldham,
Aye.
Mary Jane Campbell, Charles Alexander,
Aye.
Rick Fox,
Aye.
Jennifer Moats,
Aye.
and Turner Goff.
Aye.
Our vote is unanimous.
Hey. All right. And then next is the ordinance 2020. I'm sure that,
Let me can I interrupt here for something for just a second? I just wanted to
Sure.
tell tell Nick, the signed permit will be here in the finance office. If you come to City Hall tomorrow, we will have it signed for you to pick up.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. And you will need to see Sherry at the finance window.
Looking forward to it.
Thanks so much.
thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Nick.
Thank you.
Okay, you have anything else in there?
No,
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 okay,
not prior to discussing the ordinance.
okay, let's go to the ordinances. Russ, want to speak on this, or is anybody going to speak on it?
Let me talk about it just for a minute, just so everybody understands what we're doing. Annette and I have been working on this for a while because apparently someone with a smaller establishment had come and applied for a beer permit. I don't know if they followed up on that, but because of how the ordinance is currently written, they would not be able to have a beer permit because of the way it's currently written. A restaurant is defined as any that can serve beer, has to have a capacity of 75 people or more with table capacity. So, and I guess, Annette, is it okay for me to say who applied, just so people can understand what?
I don't have
As
a
it
problem with it, the vote down.
Well, they haven't come.
Rush, you can tell them, sure.
Okay, well, Stomping Grounds came and inquired about it. I don't know if how much they've pushed the issue. And I guess they, at some point, were wanting to serve beer. And as everybody knows, well, if you don't know, Stomping Grounds is a small coffee shop, and they obviously don't have capacity for 75 people. So with John Bradley and Annette and I worked on this proposed ordinance that allows beer to be served and defines a restaurant as having a minimum of 25 people. Seating capacity, and I propose to take out the table requirement because at a place like Stomping Grounds, which does serve food in addition to coffee, drinks, they do not have any, they have a couple tables, but they wouldn't have enough tables to serve 25 people. If you've ever gone in, there's couches and stuff where people can sit at. And so I took out the table requirement I've proposed and 25 people minimum. And as it's written now, the requirements to serve beer is that over a 2-month period, it has to average 60% of total gross sales have to be non-alcohol, have to be food. I added in there food and beverages other than alcohol have to be 60%. And I want to know what y'all think about that. Because someplace like Stomping Grounds may not be able to do that. So they could, under that you could, so it's clarified that a food could be considered a coffee drink. So and Mr. Fox had inquired about this, and Mr. Bradley can pipe in to clarify. This ordinance here only modifies subsection 3, which defines a restaurant. Any subsections under a proposed ordinance or under an ordinance that does not mention any subsections, those remain undisturbed. So I don't see the need in having to list all the subsections because we're only modifying what a restaurant is. And I think that this would be, it would be, it's crafted in such a way where we're not going to have a lot of bars. We're not going to be like the mini Nashville and have Broadway and have a lot of bars, because you still have to have the 25 seating requirement as well as the food to alcohol ratio. And the reason I picked 25, Annette pointed this out, which was very good. I initially had it to where there was no seating requirement, but our according to our taxation on alcohol beverages, beverage taxes, currently with a restaurant that has 75 to 125 seats, the city charges $600 a year. If this passes, if this goes through, or I might do it simultaneously with this proposed ordinance, I would like an ordinance that would add, if a restaurant has seating of 25 to 74 people, and I just threw out a number, we would charge $550 a year for alcohol beverage tax. And obviously that goes up if the seating capacity is 126 to 175, the alcohol beverage tax is $750. And I can bring that before the beer board at the next meeting. But if we're going to bring this to BOMA, I would like to have both at the same time. So I'm glad Annette brought that out, and I'll answer any questions, and I would like to know your thoughts on this before I take it up to BOMA. And I would like to tell BOMA that we had the beer board's full support on whatever we bring them. Thank you.
What does that tax go to when they pay the 550, 600, 750, whatever that is? What pool of money does that go to?
Annette, do you
The
know
city's general fund.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, the city's general fund.
Thank you, John.
So Russ, just, I've got a couple questions, but I think you dealt with most of it, so thank you. The other 8 subsections then remain in effect and remain untouched. Is that correct?
Yeah, John Bradley's nodding his head, so.
Is that right, John? Okay. I noticed you also took out the requirement of 1 meal a day, 5 days a week. Is that for the kind of the same reasons, Russ?
Yeah, that's kind of archaic terms, 1 meal a day, because they don't serve it at particular times. So that is, and I wanted to kind of clean up the language a little. I didn't see the need in that language, unless you do. I mean,
No, I really don't, because I would think they could be serving quote unquote a meal anytime during the day. The issue
Correct.
is they're serving food and that's what you're really trying to get in there. It sounds like it's just that they're serving food.
Correct.
And if I heard you right at the end and then I'm finished, you want to talk about this tonight, but before this goes to the whole BOMA, you also want to make another modification and kind of do it all at one thing. Is that right?
Yeah, I want to propose another, it would have to be a separate ordinance that outlined what the taxation would be on a restaurant that would have 25 to 74 seats. Because it's
Well, we
currently
can do
not
the same,
addressed.
we can do it in this ordinance. Mr.
Okay.
Evans, we can do it in the same ordinance. Just ask someone to make a motion to add that to this ordinance, that for restaurants that have, whatever the number was, 24 to 75 seats, the tax would be, what'd you say, $550?
I proposed 550 because the next one up is 600, then it goes to 750 and then 800. I proposed 550. If somebody else has a better number, make a
What's
motion and.
What's the
have that.
tax amount here, Russ? For 25 and less?
From 25 to 74 on restaurants, I proposed $550.
What is it from 25 or below 25 to 74? There
There's
is none?
nothing, there's
Okay.
nothing, because right now it starts at 75 because right
Gotcha.
now you can't get it under
So
75.
less than 25, there's nothing to even talk about.
You're right. I haven't even proposed it. So
Okay.
I didn't, if y'all, I don't like the idea of having no seating capacity. I like something.
No, I agree with you.
So,
Mr. Edwards, can I weigh in here and sort of tell how we got here?
yeah,
See, this restaurant requirement used to be something that the state required for an ABC permit. And now, as you may or may not know, the state will allow you to have an ABC permit without selling any beer, I mean, any food. There's no food requirement. They just charge a larger fee for the permit. And we still hope in Hendersonville to at least keep some food requirement. So that's what Mr. Edwards is trying to do here. But if you notice, it also says that if you have an ABC permit, you don't have that 60% rule that applies to you. Because it would not make sense to allow someone that's selling whiskey and wine to not be able to sell beer. So that's sort of the history of it. We've struggled with this for several years in Hendersonville because most places don't have a food requirement. That's not something that state law requires us to have. That's just something that we did in Hendersonville.
thank you.
So you want us to add,
I'm willing to make the, amend the motion that, to include the language Russ wanted, that for people, restaurant establishments with seating capacity of 25 to 74, the fee be $550.
okay? Do I have
Did
a
I do
second?
that all right, Russ?
Yeah, that's well, it's perfect. It's exactly what we need.
Okay, Annette, you want to call the roll?
I will. To vote on the motion as stated, please answer aye when I call your name, or answer as you wish when I call your name. Prentice Oldham,
Aye.
Mary Jane Campbell,
Aye.
Charles Alexander,
Aye.
Rick Fox,
Aye.
Jennifer Moats,
Aye.
and Turner Gall.
Aye.
The motion is passed unanimously.
Okay, I have a quick question. And I'm just thinking ahead. What happens if the Stomping Grounds decides to have a little food truck of coffee or whatever? And now that we have a beer permit for them, are they allowed to use the beer permit? Does that carry over into their little food truck?
No, it would not.
It would not. Okay.
Good question.
Okay, that got that covered, Russ?
Well, do y'all need to vote on the, now that it's been amended, y'all need to vote on the full ordinance?
Okay. So are we, is everyone ready to vote? Anybody got any more questions?
So following up on that one, Mr. Bradley, why is that? We can't, just because of the ordinance, it says you have to have more than 25 in seating, or?
No,
what is-
the point is we're talking about a hypothetical permit here. First of all, no one's applied for this.
Right.
If they did, their permit typically is limited to their location. Now, if it was on their property, they could have a food truck, I guess, in front of the business, but I don't know if that'd make much sense. They wouldn't have the right to take it all over town and sell beer.
Okay, but if they put it on, like you said, if they put it out on their parking lot, for like, you know,
We've allowed that.
you've allowed that.
We've,
Okay,
we've allowed that, yes.
okay.
Anyone have any more questions?
I move to accept the amendment as proposed.
Okay.
Second.
And it, call the roll.
All righty.
Please.
Was that Charles that seconded? I can't see everyone.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Please answer when I call your name as to your vote. Prentice Oldham,
Aye.
Mary Jane Campbell,
Aye.
Charles Alexander,
Aye.
Rick Fox,
Aye.
Jennifer Moats,
Aye.
and Turner Gall.
Aye.
Motion is passed unanimously.
Okay. You got anything on that?
The only other thing I have is just to remind you guys, and as far as I know, this event is still happening, is the Rock Castle, their already pre-approved permit for their event on August 15th. They have
Okay.
not picked their permit up yet, but Sherry will be calling and reminding them, and this is just simply to remind the board, as we discussed when we were deciding to do the multiple events under one permit, just to let you know and remind you when an event was coming up.
Very good.
And that is all I have.
Does anyone have any more questions?
Move to adjourn.
Motion been made to adjourn. All in, call the roll. Sorry.
Okay, all right. All those in favor of adjourning, please answer. Prentice Oldham,
Aye.
Mary Jane Campbell,
Aye.
Charles Alexander,
Aye.
Rick Fox,
Aye.
Jennifer Moats,
Aye.
Turner Gall.
Aye.
All
We
right.
are adjourned.
Thank you all
Thanks,
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Aye.
Bye. Thank you, Tina.
Everyone.
Good night. Glad
You're
to
very
see y'all.
welcome. Have a great night.
You too.